Hey guys, welcome back to a new episode here of Busch Gardens. Today I'm actually starting a new area. This is going to be like a Japanese Asian area, so stay tuned, roll the intro. Hey everyone, so as I just said, I'm going to be doing a Asian Japanese area. When I started the area, I wasn't really sure kind of what kind of Asian theme I was going for, but I think it leaned more towards the Japanese kind of style. So I'm going to say this is a Japanese area. This is something I've not really done too much of in the past, so I'm actually really excited to play around with some things. I do have the Asian mod installed for this just to get some of those nice roof pieces. And I'm starting off by building one of these pagodas, and I tried one. You can just see it there on the left hand side, which was kind of red, and I didn't really like it. I wanted to play around a little bit more and try and create something else. I wanted each level to kind of be more exposed. When you have these isometric views with these kind of roofs, all you see is roof and you can't see the building in the middle. So I wanted to try and create a bit more space in between each section. And I also wanted to kind of steer away from using reds because it's very kind of typical, I think. And I've gone in here with like a brown and a very dark navy blue. So I'm just going to place that here. This will be kind of the entrance area to this section of the park. You'll be able to lead in from, if you cross from the Russian area, you'll be able to come down into this Japanese area, and also from the buildings that I built in the last episode, which are on the waterfront, that will also lead into the Japanese area. And I just thought having the pagoda there was a great way to show that this was the kind of the beginning of this kind of Asian Japanese section of the park. So I am going to build a classic arrow looping coaster for this area. As you know, both Busch Gardens parks had or have an arrow looping coaster. There was Python at Busch Gardens Tampa Bay, which was, you know, a very standard arrow model. And then you have in Busch Gardens Williamsburg, we have Loch Ness Monster, which with the interlocking loops. And then previous to, well, in the past, I should say, there was Dragonfire, which is Dragonfire, of course, and that was like kind of like one of the more experimental arrow looping coasters. Apparently, it was very rough, and they actually removed it. To me, that coaster layout of that ride had more of a B&M style to it with the Cobra Roll, and it had, you know, it was very different to the other arrow coasters. But I've gone for a more classic arrow coaster here with a double loop and a double corkscrew, keeping it nice and simple. And I will actually go in and custom support this whole entire coaster. I really want to get that classic arrow look to it. I shall start that in today's episode, but I will finish it in the next 2 episodes as we go along. It's quite a lot of work to be done, and I need to figure out the area as well before I do everything completely. As you saw, that I did a bit of terraforming, so I wanted to kind of create a more hilly side to the park. So that's what I'm going to be doing on this back side of the park. I'm going to have kind of, like I said before, I want to do kind of like a path trail through the trees, going up into new areas, which would be kind of more on a higher level of terrain. I usually stick to kind of flat parks, and I think it would be nice within the Busch Gardens park to kind of experiment a little bit more with terrain levels. So I'm going to be doing that. So I'm starting off by kind of having the hills in the background here of the Japanese area, which I think is really fitting for this area. I wanted the queue line for this coaster to also kind of go through the hills a little bit, rather than having a kind of generic cattle pen style queue. I really want to kind of get that kind of going through the trees to get to the ride kind of feel. So the coaster, obviously Japanese, everyone just thinks, okay, you're going to call it Ninja. I'm not going to call this Ninja. I'm going to do a bit of research and find a good name for it. I have a couple in my head, but I'm going to get on Wikipedia, a bit on Google, find some good names that will fit. So I'm going to do that, and I'll let you know at a later date what that's going to be called. And this coaster is actually the Arrow Corkscrew Coaster mod from the Steam Workshop. This game does not come with the coaster does not come with the game. There is a still looping coaster, but unfortunately for me, I try and go for realism when building these parks, and that looping coaster does not have the same kind of style that an arrow coaster has, and this mod definitely has that kind of arrow look to it. So that's why I've gone with that. And now I'm gonna just crack on, as you can see, with the station building. This is something I'm actually really proud of. It was a bit of trial and error in the beginning, and I did a bit of research on different Japanese buildings, but the actual outcome in the end is something I'm really proud of, and I'm really happy with how it looks. So I'm just gonna go ahead now and build that. I am primarily using pieces from the actual Asian mod set, which can be also found on the Steam Workshop, and I'm just kind of stacking up pieces, laying down roofs, and kind of trying to create what looks best kind of thing. And like I said, trial and error, but towards the end I really get like a feel for what I'm doing, and I'm really happy with how this turned out, and it does become like a real statement piece of this whole area. Because it's quite a large building, and also the coaster station is raised in the air, I thought it'd be cool to kind of have the bottom half of the building to have like a gift shop kind of at the exit, maybe have some food in there and stuff for the guests so they can kind of go in the bottom of the station, and it not just be a station, it's kind of a multi-purpose building. So yeah, I'm just kind of right now this is not how the station's going to look. If you saw the screenshot at the beginning of the video, you would have seen how this was looking. This is just kind of playing around with color, playing around with things. I hate what I just did, so I'm going to actually get rid of all that and go with another idea, but using a similar style. So I found these nice kind of flat roofs rather than the curved ones. I'm going to put those in the center and then put the curved ones around the outside. This creates like a nice shape, I think, for like an Asian style building. And then I'm going with these greens here. This coaster is going to be black. I didn't want to have a red coaster because I thought that was very typical. I'm going for a black coaster, and I'm going to do like a very olivey dark green supports for the coaster. So I've gone with like a tint of red in the station, and then I'm going to throw in some of those dark olive greens in there just to make it all tied together. I think playing with colour with this was kind of essential because when I did the pagoda, like I said, I wanted to kind of stay away from having reds, and I've gone for the navy. And then this is the same for me with the station. I've got a little bit of red, but not too much. I think because I'm going to do some accents in the area of red, and I think if there's too much red, it's going to look a bit too much. So I'm just going to use red as an accent color rather than the main color for this area. And yeah, I'm really happy with this building. As you can see now, it's kind of starting to form. I've kind of used some pieces from the Shy Guys mod sets there as well, just to kind of create like a little balcony around it, which also ties into the pagoda that I did. I used the same thing for that. And I'm just kind of making like a main entrance porch here to go into the bottom of the station. But as you can see now, it is really starting to take form. I love these little dragon accents as well that you can put on the corner. Now, I'm not sure if dragons is more of a Chinese thing, or whether also, I'm not familiar with kind of Asian cultures, and I know obviously when I think of China, I think of the dragons, and so because this is a Japanese area, I'm not sure if the dragons are actually a part of that style, but I've put them in there. I think they look cool, but if it's wrong, someone let me know. I really don't know. I'm sure that a lot of you, maybe some of you viewers out there, know a lot more about it than I do. But yeah, I mean, this is all I have really for this episode this week. Just stick around. I'm going to continue just constructing a little bit, do the custom supports on the lift hill, and then in another episode I should continue on and kind of custom support the loops and the corkscrews, etc. And I put some screenshots at the end of this video as well, just so you can kind of see what I've done. But yeah, thanks for sticking around. Give me a thumbs up if you like this video, subscribe if you haven't already. And yeah, every subscriber that has joined me in the last few weeks, I really appreciate it. My numbers are going up, and I've nearly at 1,000 subscribers, which to me is a little bit crazy because I never thought I'd have even 100. So thanks for watching. Stick around next time for more of Busch Gardens, and see you next time. Bye.